was kind of wondering about that.
Yeah, I just clicked
You
on it.
you want to do another intro again?
Do you want it? We can.
Go for it.
All right. As soon as we go live. Okay.
I say that because we also just sort of started recording on.
Yeah. We're
Go
up.
for it.
Good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Part 2 of this intro. Welcome to the flip side with Jay and Noel. Today, the 20th of May, 2023. Episode 44 being recorded right now. To be quite honest with you, this is probably the second recording that we're doing because I screwed up. Again, we've actually talked about quite a bit already. We've been on about 15 minutes now. But you know what? I'll cut it and paste it and add it to wherever, That's the best part about this post-production type of thing is I can cut for first part and then put it on.
Either it means we're doing too many things, or we were just so engrossed in the conversation that was just so engaging, and the topic was just so stimulating that we forgot to click record. Or
exactly,
we're just doing too many things. We're just not multitaskers.
Yeah, or maybe we're just complete idiots.
That's why they have two pilots in an airplane, right? In case one of them is an idiot, the other one can still save the plane.
So messed up. That can't be true.
That's exactly the reason why. So
you think so?
No, that's not what I think. So that's what the pilot actually told me. It's like a backup brain for the other person's brain. Not even kidding. It's the same, dude. It's the same philosophy when you go scuba diving. You're not supposed to be scuba diving alone.
Right. Well, that's because if you die, at least somebody sees you.
No, in case you have an emergency. It's not because in case you die, but in case you have an emergency, you have an extra brain also on the other side to tell you, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Let's go back up or something.
Right. That's true. That's true. Well,
so
in any case.
So yes, a lot of people die because they're alone, diving alone, and they nobody to help them. But it's really about, helping you make a proper decision in case I make a bad decision, the other person makes a good decision. So it's literally, that's how my scuba diving slash, he's also actually a pilot, one of my instructors. That's how he would word it, that it's your buddy, your scuba diving buddy is actually your extra brain. So you have an extra regulator, extra scuba tank, blah, blah, blah. It's all on the other guy. But he also has an extra brain in case you are making a stupid decision. So in other words, because actually he was trying to teach us the idea of don't just do your thing all by yourself. Pay attention to the other guy too, because you're already also backing him up in case he's making a bad decision.
Right.
Like putting the wrong regulator or the wrong air source on his mouth. Like there's some gases that you're not supposed to breathe at certain depths. So you're actually supposed to cross-check his decision against your decision too. So same thing. Anyway, yeah. So next time I should be checking if we are going live, asking you, have you clicked the live button? See, that's
maybe you should, huh? Always relying on somebody else.
Exactly. So, or I was thinking, and this is also a reason why a couple of airplanes crashed. This is not even a joke. I was assuming, since you're the captain of the flight, that you know what you're doing.
Thanks, appreciate it. What an asshole.
No, not being an asshole, just saying that there are some
but the co-pilot supposedly is not just the co-pilot.
Right.
So it's your job.
Exactly.
So you slacked off. Not me. Okay. All right.
Exactly. That is they actually call that crew management resource something. It's like it's actually something that they study. It's a specific topic where when the captain does this, you're supposed to be checking on that. So okay, we're doing the intro, blah blah blah. We're talking like this. Co-pilot, supposedly me, is supposed to be checking if we're actually live here and we're actually live there. So we're actually like cross monitoring each other because you're doing your thing. You're flying the airplane / opening your mouth, doing the intro. I should have been, checking if we went live, if the camera is okay here, blah, blah, blah. So there are actually exercises or specific
A checklist.
duties and responsibilities, yeah, when the plane's actually flying. So that's
Right.
really literally a backup brain, because you are focusing on talking, doing your intro, and I'm supposed to be helping you monitor or maintain whatever all the other
Say
background
la vie.
tasks are
Say la vie. We
doing.
live and we learn, right? Just make sure next time, please guide me properly here.
So that's why there are two pilots in the airplane. Extra brain.
Extra brain, just in case, so you don't crash.
Or, sorry, one more thing about that. One last thing. Or if the pilot goes to the toilet, no, if the one pilot
Falls
orders a
asleep.
bad, oh, no, let's put it this way. This is what I learned. I'm not a pilot. This is just the stuff that I hear. Um, they're not supposed to order the same meal in
Why?
case in case one meal is if in case that one meal is bad, then both
Mhm.
of them would be eating it, and both of them would be going to the toilet at the same time.
Ah, that's a good point.
So the
Holy
rule
crap.
is
I did not. Is that an actual fact?
heard from a pilot.
If there's any pilots out there, confirm it. Yeah, because
It
I don't
is.
know. I mean, I've never heard of that, but it does make sense. It's pure
Yeah,
logic.
he's
That's
a
kind of cool, though.
commercial pilot.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, they're not supposed to order the same meal. And yeah, like I said, like the inside scoop in one of the that's not an inside scoop. It's actually documented, and they did actually talk about it in the crash report,
Hmm.
where there are actually um pilot sort of dynamics where culturally they're not like supposed to sort of what's that? So it was a cultural issue because about something about insubordination. Like, I can't tell you,
Right.
sir, like you forgot to click live. That's kind of like pointing out to your higher superior that he made a mistake. So he
Ah.
didn't open his mouth anymore because he didn't want to make that mistake of subordination.
Hmm.
And so you knew this was happening. They didn't crash, but it was an accident. Um, Nobody died.
Well, that's
Um,
good.
so but it was one of those things where it was like you knew that this was happening. Why didn't you open your mouth? Oh, because I didn't want him to think that I was subordinating him, or going on top, or what's the word, stepping on his foot,
Stepping on his
stepping on
foot.
his,
Yes. Oh,
yeah,
going over the line, basically. Yeah.
going over the line. So he knew that it was happening, but he didn't open his mouth because it was the captain that was flying the airplane anyway.
Right.
So
Right.
that's that. Okay, so let's go back to your thing.
I forgot. Let's pivot off that already. Anyway. Uh, so, one of the three main of the one of the three main bullets I had sent you. Which one do you want to go first? Because I want to try to discuss all three of these because they're pretty. There was the Ethan Hunt,
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
the
That's really
National
that
Asian
that's
Festival.
that's really intriguing. Those are fun. Let's get the last one that you sent me out of the way first, which was the oh, chicken's awake. Uh, the
Jennifer
Filipina,
Ferguson.
yeah, nominated for a really prestigious award.
Right,
Oh,
right. So the James Beard Award is like the compare. It's like in comparison to the Oscars, really, how they say it when it comes to acting.
tell me about it.
It's yeah, it's almost as big as getting a Michelin star, but Michelin stars, I believe, are specifically for the chefs, where the value and the level of their cooking.
Okay.
James Beard, on the other hand, it's more in relation to anything surrounding food. It could be people writing about food or travel vlogging or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm, mm, mm.
So as it turns out, there's two Filipinos that are actually nominated this year. Erwin
Mm-hmm.
Husef,
Mm.
whatever,
Yeah.
who's actually related to
Oh, it's
Solem, the actress.
yeah. I think it's Erwan, not
Erwin.
Erwin.
Oh,
Erwan. There's an A there.
oh. Well, anyway, but
See,
he's actually kind of like cook in a way.
see, I just corrected you. I'm not subordinating. So
Okay, all right. Thank you, appreciate it. Um,
go ahead,
he's a
Captain.
he's he's actually a cook though, and he's actually pretty decent. But that's not the one that I want to talk about. I want to talk about is the other Asian nominee, Filipina nominee, who happens to be Jennifer Ferguson.
What
She's
about it?
actually nominated for as um for the journalism award, for the James Beard Journalism Award, and
Okay.
she is nominated for the particular article that she wrote. I believe it's called Kimchi with a Side of Whale.
Right.
Yeah, I think you were listening to it earlier, and it's kind of interesting, that article. I read the whole thing, and it's pretty crazy how kimchi was the main dish and whale was the side dish, quite literally.
Oh, so it was like a kimchi salad with whale on it.
Yes, kimchi. Well, not on it, literally on the side of it, like a side of whale.
That's how they eat it there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah. So of
Sh-
all things, that's the one that really popped.
she you can see, I can see. Seriously, come
I
on,
was a.
man. You could have wheeled to the side.
It's just the camera is just so wide. I can't like get
Okay, all
away.
right,
I can't get away from it.
right,
But
right.
but even more importantly, I didn't want to have like a bubble forming on my nose. So just
So going back to
forgive me.
Jennifer Ferguson here.
But I did move to the side just to hide from TikTok. So now TikTok can't see me, but
Well, now
you,
the millions of
you
people on YouTube.
YouTube and the rest of the world can. But at least I hid from TikTok. See, no more TikTok.
No
Back on
more.
TikTok. No more TikTok. Back on TikTok. Okay. Kimchi on whale or whale on kimchi.
Well, Jennifer Ferguson, again, she's a Filipino traveling. She's a traveler, basically, world traveler. And she travels the world to write about food specifically and the lives of the people that make them.
Mostly Filipino lives.
I'm not sure, because the one that when she went to Alaska, well, it just turns out that she happened to venture into, I guess, an Asian community or whatever, where
Oh,
they're whale catchers as well. Not whale catchers. Well, I get I don't know what they call them, but
Fil-
they farmed, or they caught a whale, butchered it, and they freeze that thing, like, and then they open it up like regular part of dinner. Hold on. What's wrong?
there's a mutiny in the Bounty. They are having
There's no more. There's no more there. And in the closet. Sorry.
I'm curious what that was all about.
Well, she wanted candy, but I don't have it anymore here on my desk. She was
Oh,
looking
the
for my
one that
Skittles.
the one that you were eating on your desk a while ago.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Anyway,
And
so
isn't it way past her bedtime for cookies? Candy?
no, not yet. She's almost not yet, not yet. She'll be fine. What was I saying now? Man, I got
Um,
so distracted. I can't
I was
remember.
listening. Whale hunters
Right, right, right. No, I mean,
free,
it's
freezing the
pretty
whale.
impressive. The article is basically describing the day-to-day life of these people, how they came about catching the whale and eating it with kimchi. But the
Mm,
kimchi is the star of the dish.
mm,
And
mm,
that's the
mm, mm.
crazy part, because kimchi is hard to perfect in a environment like Alaska,
Why?
because it's cold.
That's part of how it's cold in Korea too, and that's what they do. They dig a hole in the ground when
Yeah,
it's
but it's
winter.
not as cold.
Well, I'm not sure I see your point here because the way
Yeah.
I understand it in Korea, in winter, that's kind of how they came up with the whole idea of fermenting the. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I'm
you might be right. I'm not sure.
assuming here, but the way I understand it is that they started fermenting the kimchi so that
Mhm.
in winter it's going to taste better.
Yeah, that's true.
or so that it's going to last throughout the rest of winter, because they need some kind of food to last them throughout the rest of winter. And fermenting it means that it's going to taste better the longer that it's in the ground, or
Right.
the longer that it's there. So you don't even have to put it on the freezer or cool it. But also see your point how it, I think it's not that it doesn't make sense because it's in Alaska, but maybe because that the taste of kimchi itself is not something that you would imagine that Alaskans would fall for.
That's true.
It's kind
That's
of like
actually
say,
quite. But how will they even? Well, I know there's a pretty big Asian population in Alaska as well.
ayun. I mean,
So
I'd be really weirded out. It's kind of like saying, "Oh, balut hits Alaska," and
that's
makes it
never
big.
gonna happen.
You know, that's what I mean. So yeah, but no, but like you said, the fact that it was the kimchi that becomes the start of the dish,
Right.
I think that's the one that makes it
That
strange, because usually kimchi is like on the
kimchi is a
side, right?
side dish to
A
begin with.
side dish. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because
I think that's where it
especially with
becomes
like that,
weird.
with whale, with as the meat, I would assume that they would
Yeah,
use the kimchi as a contrast to
yeah.
what they're eating.
So maybe they're like, "Hey guys, we're sick and tired of whale. Let's
Yeah.
go for kimchi."
But but for this woman to travel the world, and out of all the places that she's visited and probably experienced, especially with the food and whatnot, that's the one that she gets nominated for. The article that she wrote about that. I mean, obviously, it has something to do with the people in that community as well that she wrote about. Like how they come about doing such a thing. It's not just about the
Mm.
food and the environment; it's the people that puts it together, basically. And it's
Wait,
impressive.
so the award is given to people or anyone that talks about food?
Not necessarily just talk about it. I mean, she's a writer, and it's not like she is an actual chef or
Yeah,
anything like
right.
that.
Right, right, right. That's what I mean. I just wanted to understand that. So it's not actually it's not an award for the chef. It's an award for people that promote, talk about, encourage like food
Yeah, anything that
appreciation.
has to do in regards to food appreciation, most likely. Yeah,
Cool, cool.
yeah, and it's quite impressive. I mean, if I hope you know if you win a James Beard Award, that
Mm,
puts your name out there in the food world.
mm,
It automatically catapults you to a certain level. I mean, probably not the same level as Gordon Ramsay or Wolfgang Puck, but
mm.
pretty close scenario. No, not pretty close. I want to say I don't want to disrespect that, but up there. Winning a James Beard is a pretty established award, and that would be
Yeah. So
pretty. It's pretty amazing.
so when she walks into a restaurant now, she could be like that guy in Ratatouille and be like, what are we
Exactly.
going to say about this place this
I
time?
mean, she could shut things down easily. You're picking your toes.
I didn't get the right pasta. This is
Right.
not penne, and I asked for penne. I don't care if it's going to be charged against you. I'm going to write about it.
So today I told you that we went to the National Asian Heritage Festival, right? And since we were talking about food, one of the big things why I wanted to go to that festival, I wanted to try the food. There's supposedly different um places serving. I mean, different parts of Asia that's represented there with their food.
Mm-hmm.
But
Did
I'm
they have
feeling
Koreans? Did they have Koreans with kimchi there?
they had Vietnamese food. They had some Filipino food, but again, they're infused. Um, they had some Japanese, your typical Chinese food and whatnot. But first, when I'm a little disappointed at how they put together this festival. One, it's because it's like maybe 3 blocks big. It's a small area. It's really, really small. The way they put this festival. It's maybe, like I said, maybe 3 or 4 blocks, maybe. Not even, you know.
Is that wait? Hold on. Is that too big? Too small? What do you mean?
It's too small.
Oh, it's
It's too
too
small.
small.
It's too small. There's only, hold on one sec. Ace.
Like not enough representatives. Not a lot of people.
Oh, there's a lot of people there. There's like so many people that showed up. But again, the way it's set up, the place is too small. And there was
Oh,
maybe only, I don't know, maybe 5 booths or tents that served food. And because of that, there were
oh.
so many people that the lines were ridiculously long. It was too
Sounds
long.
sounds like your weekend neighborhood talipapa. What do you call that?
Yeah,
You have like a weekend market would do better than
like a farmer's market.
a farmer's
No,
market would.
it's as big as a farmer's market. That's it. But unfortunately, the farmer's market actually had more food tents or participants in it. This festival, I kid you not, probably had one, two, three, four, no more than 20 tents, probably.
Mm-mm-mm.
And that's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. You know, like, I'm
Embarrassing
going to
for
show
the
you right now.
organizer or embarrassing
Well,
for the tents?
so for example, if this is, okay, if this is the whole block, right? Right here,
You got to put it closer to your camera. I could barely see
right?
it.
So if that's the full block, the section where
Okay.
it says food, that's the front part, okay,
Okay.
of the street. For example, they put all 4 or 5 food. Like this is this is the front of the festival. This is the end. They
Mhm.
put all the food in front of the festival, in front of like the beginning of the festival area. And there's like 4, maybe 5 food tents. Because of that, there's a million people lining up to their food, blocking the way to go to the back of the festival. So
Oh,
front of the festival only looks like it's the crowded part, and the back part doesn't look that crowded because everybody's lined up on the food at the front part. Am I making sense here?
right. Yeah, they should have put it in the back so that people would be able to or have to pass through all the other
Correct. The other
stalls
booths,
first before they get to the food. Yeah.
or put some in the front and put some on the back, not like in
Spread
one general area.
spread them out.
Correct. It's horrible. It's. Let me do this. I want to explain this properly.
So it was the floor planning, the organization,
Right.
the
So 5 circles right there. Each circle represents um a food stall. This is the front of the festival. This is the back. Okay.
so
Am I making sense?
they were blocking it. Yeah.
Exactly. So each line here represents maybe a line for the food stall.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like don't bother going to the back. Here's the food.
Right. So
Well,
everybody else
we all
that's
know that you came
walking,
here for the food.
they're having a hard time walking to the back of the festival because they can't get through because they're
Yeah.
blocking everything here. Granted, there's not a whole lot of booths or tents in the back of the festival.
Yeah, but you put that in the front. Yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, one, there's just not enough participants for this festival. It's quite embarrassing, to be quite honest with you.
So there were more customers or people walking in than there were participants or merchants
Well,
in the
there's just not
festival.
enough merchants to begin with. There's not enough
Oh,
merchants. It's embarrassing. Like I said, not enough merchants. I mean, 2, 4, maybe 20, if that. If I'm lucky, if I counted, I think I counted too much. That's it.
sorry. Did you say this was in DC?
Yeah.
Where'd you say it was again? So you drove all the way to DC to check it out.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes away. National Asian Heritage Festival today. in Washington DC.
Mm. Just talk to
And
people. Were they feeling the same way about your sentiments about
some, I mean, um, it's so there's a lot of like white people, the different cultures that go to this festival, the Asian festival, right?
mm,
And the Asian community is just not properly represented by these vendors over there.
mm, mm,
It
mm,
sucks, to be honest with you. It's by far one of this is the second time I've been there, okay? Last year me and my family went as well. But last year it was raining. Because of the rain, there was only what, maybe 10 tents and barely in any people walking around to this festival. It
mm,
was
mm.
horrible. It was really, really bad.
Where do you think that comes from? Is it the Asian community not really being excited about their own culture, or you think it's really just comes down to the organizers?
I think it comes down to the organizers. They didn't, maybe they're making it too expensive for these vendors to join, or
Mm.
um, I don't know.
But the good side of it is that there are people that attend. I mean, the visitors, the guests.
There was
Pe-
definitely a lot of visitors this year. Okay.
Uh uh uh
Which
uh.
was great. It was amazing. The
So there,
turnaround, the
yeah. So
weather was great.
there is a market for it. There are people interested to go.
Yes, absolutely. There's just
Like,
poorly represented.
except the event itself was just
Yeah.
could have been better.
It definitely could have been better. It could have been organized better. And
Yeah.
the layout of the tents and whatnot, the food preparation, the layouts, it was poorly executed. I could have done better. The farmers market down the street every Saturday morning does a job 10 times better. And that's just a farmers market. You know what I mean?
I wonder why they thought about putting the food for. Maybe they thought, oh, okay, I think it would have been a soccer mom maybe that planned this, but on the flip side of that, maybe a soccer mom would have done a better job. Maybe the idea was that you walk in there, oh, okay, this is what we're going to do. They're going to walk in there, they're going to get their food, and then they're going to decide to walk around inside through the back while they're walking around with their food. Maybe that's what the whole
I could see that happening, but the problem there is the lines to the food get so ridiculously long. It takes about what? It takes
mm,
time to get your food. By the time you get your food and you're standing in the heat, you're not gonna want to walk around. You're gonna want to find shade so you can eat your food.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because that's how
It-
we felt today. Today was actually hot. It was pretty. I mean, not hot compared to the Philippines, but it was like 80 degrees or something. You know. Well, I
mm-mm.
mean, I'm already. It's t-shirt and shorts day already today, and I stood in line for maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just to grab egg rolls and fish balls and all that stuff. That's it.
While the
They didn't
rest of
even
the family was walking around in the back enjoying the rest of the
well, yeah, but again, to walk from front of the festival all the
yeah,
way to the end doesn't
right.
even take 10 minutes. So we've already been back and forth multiple times before we decided to get food.
So how many days do they get to do this?
One day.
Ah,
Exactly. I
and they
mean,
screwed
but
it up.
tomorrow there's a city next. I live in Loudoun County. There's a city next to where I live called Fairfax County. Um, they actually have an Asian festival as well tomorrow, but I don't
How
know if
they
we're gonna go to that.
how they do it last year? Was is it similar? Same setup?
Yeah, same setup last year, but last year there weren't that many people because first of all, it was the first year back after the pandemic, and
Mm.
then it was actually raining as well, so it wasn't as big yet and crowded. But from years before, I mean, it's the 18th year that they've been doing it. So obviously they're doing
What?
something right. Yeah.
Oh
But
wait. I get confused. I get confused. It was the first time that you went last year, but they've been doing it for 16, 17, 18 years already,
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
and they still haven't figured that part out.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh
I can't even
wow.
imagine how it was before I went. I mean, we've known that it was there. We just never went. But last year we decided to go. I'm
Yeah.
sure I've probably gone before too. I just forgot about it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's nice to know that it's happening.
Yeah, but it's
It's
horrible. It's a turnoff.
sad to think that they nobody's complaining about it. It hasn't been fixed.
I don't know, but this was in again. This is in D.C. in Washington D.C. Okay, the nation's
Mm-mm-mm.
capital, where the organizers should be organized and could have prepared
Mm-mm.
better. But it could also be on the vendors and the participants as well. It was just lacking. It was lackluster. Everything was so unorganized. They had so in the middle. I showed you that diagram where all that food stalls were, right?
Yeah.
Actually, in the middle of that, right smack in the middle of the road, is like a staging area where supposedly different parts of Asia are performing. There was somebody when we got there doing the tinikling. I actually have videos. When I
Yeah.
edit this episode, I'm actually going to insert it.
Okay.
Um, they were doing tinikling and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And it was interesting. It was fun to watch, but it was poorly represented and poorly executed. They had a whole tinkling thing. They didn't have enough people to do the bamboo thing, so they had to pull people from the streets to do it. Obviously, they were screwing up because the beat was wrong and whatnot. It didn't look very entertaining, you know.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Same thing when the dragon the Chinese dragon dancers came out. They had the whole dragon thing, right?
Uh,
But it just looked off because they weren't organized or they would looks like they lacked practice or something. I don't know. You know?
have you heard about the Legazpi Sunday Market? I think is what they call it here.
No, no.
So, just to give you an idea, there's BGC, right? It's known to be like this
Right.
posh neighborhood. Like across the street from that, on the other side, Makati, practically same neighbor, same idea, pretty posh, but it's like the old rich kind of sort of neighborhood. But it's cute because they picked a park on the weekend. I think usually Sundays. It's a parking lot actually, and the way that they organized it, just
Mhm.
listening to you gripe about the way they organized this event. Um, these guys they keep it simple. The parking lot, they close the parking lot and open that to food stalls. And the way the food stalls are sort of organized, I think, is the parking slots. That's
Right.
the food stall. So there, I think it's been going on for a few number of years already, and it seems to be, they have like a little community there over the
Right.
weekend. I've only been there like a couple of times,
What is it
but
called again? The Gatsby what?
the Gaspi Sunday Market, I think, is what it's called. But it's cute in a sense that that these guys probably don't the most of the customers probably don't come out of their condos or their nice little apartments in Makati,
Right.
and then all of a sudden they're out on a
Let me put
Sunday
it to you this
afternoon
way.
like this.
I just pulled a picture of this on
Mm.
Google.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. This looks 100 times more organized than the one I went to today. I'm not even kidding. I mean, this looks professionally organized. It looks like in order. Even the
Yeah.
stalls are there's some kind of flow on. See, there's one picture where there's like a line of people for the food, right?
Uh,
I'm looking at
uh,
it right
uh.
now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the lines aren't in a way of blocking people.
But again, the way that it's done is they just keep it the way the parking lot is organized.
Right.
Food stalls are from the car slots.
The parking
That's
spaces itself.
the parking spaces, and then there's already arrows on the ground saying which way the traffic should flow.
Right. Right.
So they
It's
weren't like reinventing the wheel there.
It's crazy. It's crazy. They literally put the food stalls in one area and the lines are going everywhere. And because there's so many people, the lines stretch out, I don't know, 100 people deep and more, and it's all over the place. So it's blocking the walkway. So if you go, like I said, if you go to the front part of the festival, it's crowded for sure because everybody's lining up for food, and you could barely see
Mm-mm.
the performers in the middle because of the line. And then if you pass the food area, and then it's practically not busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, I think it lacks enough representative culture wise for Asia. It's embarrassing to be honest with you. The whole DC Asian Heritage Festival since last year, I'll give it a pass. Because
Mm.
again, coming back from COVID, but the weather sucked last year. But this year, where there was God knows how many people, it was great weather, horrible, 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 by far worst representation of Asian festival I've ever attended. And I've been to a lot. That's my
I
two
wanna.
cents of that.
I wanna. Yeah. I wanted to. We should have tried something. Here we go again with the autopilot. I was just listening to you talk, but I should have asked you to screen share like what you saw or what you have on your
No, on my video.
not just on your video, but on what you Google searched or the if you took any pictures, you could
I
actually
did.
screen share that on the.
Yeah, it's on my phone though, but I'll edit everything in. Um, I should have done that. Stupid. I was even thinking about it. Anyway. But there is a flip side to it. There is one saving grace. We ran into this Filipino booth in the festival that
Mm,
was actually quite impressive. And they basically, it's like a design shop where they put Filipino prints on clothes, stickers, hats, whatever. Um,
Filipino prints like the text in
yeah,
Tagalog in print.
yeah, it's called Wika, Wika.
Okay,
Um,
that's the name of the stall. You mean?
yeah, it's give me 2 seconds. Let me grab the business card real quick.
Is it in your wallet somewhere? We could just do we just Google that? Wika prints on shirt.
So unorganized. Can you hear me?
Wika designs.
Yes, Wika Designs.
Ah,
And I have to admit, they had a stall there at um at the Asian festival, and I have to admit, I was quite impressed. The products that they have was
mm,
pretty good quality. They had hoodies, they had barongs,
mm.
they had the good barong, like the pineapple one made from pineapple.
Sorry, I got distracted about this bye bye, and I just feel sad that kind of too late to try to save it right now. You know how you know there's the Chinese characters, the Japanese characters,
Yeah.
and then there's bye bye, and some
Uh,
Filipinos, some millennials I see are trying to use that as their I think language on their phone, or they try to write to each other in bye bye in. But
yeah. Yeah.
anyway,
Anyway.
segue to there's this whole story about how they put like Korean, Japanese, and Chinese characters in your regular QWERTY keyboard.
Yeah.
Like a whole documentary that I saw about this last week about how they put that there. But anyway, so I just got distracted about one of the shirts that Wika Design has. So in case you guys didn't if you if that flew over, Baybayin is the like the character alphabet of the Tagalog
Hmm.
Baybayin. So there's what do we call ABCs? Alphabets,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
alphabet is to the ABCs as baybayin is like how
I'm
the
lost.
the the written the Tagalog written is baybayin. So am I saying that right?
No idea.
Okay,
No idea.
never mind.
I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
No, the interesting thing is that baybayin and ABCs, oh, your live post,
Oh, I'm sorry.
baybayin and ABCs are written are in single letters or single syllable, so each one has a sound like
Right.
abacada, ABC, abacada in baybayin, for example, and then ABCs in the alphabet,
Right.
right? But the interesting thing about the Korean, Chinese, and Japanese, these are characters. They're practically whole ideas, phrases, sentences in one character. And like there's like thousands of characters in one language. How do you
Is
put that in on a keyboard like this?
hmm,
You know how
is
they did it?
no.
TLDR, too long, don't read. Um, Predictive text. So if you click one letter, the computer will give you like, is this what you mean? Is this what you mean? Is this what you mean? And then you just choose from, so because like, so one letter could mean like 10 different characters, and then you
Yeah,
just
but
choose one.
that takes more time.
No, not for the computer. So that's AI basically.
Ah, I got it. I got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds interesting.
That's the documentary that I saw. So yeah, so for us, for Baybayin and ABCs, it's one letter per alphabet,
Right.
right? So for them, they have different characters, but you just click one alphabet, and then and they have like contests for
Who
character
can?
writing. Yeah,
Ah, I see. I see. I see. I see. I see.
yeah. There's a contest for that anyway. So what do you suggest? Do you want to talk to the organizers and be part of the organizing team next year?
If they can do a better job and try to organize this and get more vendors, that would be awesome. I mean, they could
Mm,
have reached out to the Asian grocery stores like Lotte or H Mart or whatever they have it here, and
mm,
like try
mm,
to get
mm.
them to participate. That would be great. Have a proper, more representation because it looked really sad.
Yeah.
It looked like the food just took over everything, and then the other booths, horrible.
Maybe
Honestly,
they thought that Asians would just flock to them and to the organizers. And you know what I mean?
honestly, it
Sometimes
looked
it's kind of,
lazy to me. It
yeah,
looked really lazy.
sometimes maybe it's like that. Oh, maybe we're a big enough event that people will come to us, and then they didn't reach out to their
Yeah,
constituents. You know what I mean? It's like you never really know what's going on in the kitchen.
yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Or
it was
maybe
quite
maybe
annoying.
or maybe they planned it like 6 days before the event.
I mean, they could have, but
You
still,
know? No,
even if it's
what I'm saying is, if something like that once a year happens, you should be planning that 3-6 months before, right?
right, right.
And if you come up with a layout like that and not enough people, sounds like you just came up with it 6 days ago.
It's
That's
just horrible
that's my
representation.
impression.
Yeah, it looks like they just half-assed it and reached out to people, like you said, like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Or
You know,
simple, like maybe they didn't do enough research on to see how everybody else does it around the
right?
world,
They
and to
could have
sort
been.
of,
They could have been so many reasons. I think it's just
yeah,
organization and the people that planned it out just got lazy. Like you said,
or
they probably expected vendors to like flock and like want to join, but they didn't, and then nobody reached out. It's horrible.
they could have gotten a bunch of freshman college students,
Yeah. And even though I wanted to
organizing
try
it
the
for the
food,
first time.
I couldn't even try all the food. I barely tried anything because again, the lines were just too long. I'm not gonna stand in line for an hour when I have a baby with me, a 3-year-old with me. It's gonna be horrible. Um,
Yeah.
the saving grace again, this company right here, Wika Designs. They were actually
Mm.
quite cool. People were nice. The products looked really legit. So check them out. WikaDesigns.com. That's WIKA designs.com. Anyway,
Maybe they can make flip side t-shirts for us.
Oh, let
Man,
me give them a calm down.
that's if you have a budget for it. I don't mean that as sponsorship or freebies, but
Now it's not. It's really getting a shirt done is not that bad. It's not that expensive. I can get one done for $20 right now. It's just a matter
Ayun.
of. It's just a matter of using the right logo and how we want it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um. So that's that.
What else you got there?
Last thing I wanted to talk about. I think the Mr. Ethan Hunt himself. I
Let's
just
do that.
saw. Huh?
But let's do that. But funny enough, you should say when you said Ethan Hunt, for some reason, I was thinking of Ethan Hawke. For for some reason, I was thinking
Really?
of what's that movie? The one he did with another girl. It's just two characters in the movie. Before
Oh,
Sunrise, and then
before
there's
sunrise
Before
and before
Sunset.
sunset.
I was
Those
like,
are. I miss those kind of movies though.
romantic movies all of a sudden about Mission Impossible. So I got kind of confused. So this is called what? The character of Ethan
Ethan
Hunt.
Hunt is the main character that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in Mission Impossible, played by Tom Cruise. So
Okay.
I don't know if you've actually seen all of these movies. Okay. All of these Mission Impossible movies. The
Yeah,
one that's coming out this year is Mission Impossible 7.
yeah.
I think it's part one of like the last, because I think this is the last time he's doing it.
Okay.
Um, I just saw it says Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. This is going to be Mission Impossible 7. Um, and I didn't know, first of all, that he's
Mm,
been playing this character for over 10 years now. Over
right.
since 1996 was the first one. Holy crap. It's been over 20 years? I don't even think the first one was 1996.
Was it 96? Wow.
Yeah,
I remember the first
96,
time
2006, 2016, 20 some odd years already. Wow.
I remember the first time I saw the Mission Impossible. Yeah, Mission Impossible 1 was like in Eastwood, I think. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tom
But I didn't
Cruise, John Voight was in it, Ving Rhames. I mean, he's been playing the title character for over 20 years. And so I saw the trailer today for the first time for the new movie that's coming out. I think
Oh,
it's coming out at the end of this month. I'm not sure. And
okay.
it looks sick. I don't know if you've had the chance to look at it. I
Nope.
mean, he's done a million movies, okay? But I love this Mission Impossible franchise. Movie after movie after movie after movie, he has always topped himself. I don't know if you saw the last one, but this guy actually jumped from one building to the other and actually broke his ankle and in the process and
Yeah.
then continues to do it.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. Heard about that.
Yeah.
So saw it. Yeah.
But the character is just it's quite amazing. He's done all these stunts and the storyline has one way or the other connected to the other movie and it's quite impressive. I like this I like the way I like this movie, this Mission Impossible.
Wait, I get confused. I think I saw this trailer already. It came out just a couple of days ago, right?
I don't know when it came out, but I just saw it today to be honest with you because it just popped up on my YouTube feed.
Yeah, I'm looking at Paramount Pictures. Released it 3 days ago, 12 million views already.
Wow.
And
Jeez.
maybe I saw the trailer, or maybe just snippets of it, but not the actual full length 2 minute trailer.
Right, right.
A couple of years ago, maybe that's when they were making it.
Are you a
Just
fan of this series?
yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know why my voice went up really high, like yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I am a fan.
Yeah, I like this series. It's actually really good. The storyline's amazing, but
Of course. Yeah.
going from can you imagine all the countries that they've filmed for this movie? They've been to India, they've been to uh Dubai.
So here,
Yeah. What's
Fast
that?
and the Furious or Mission Impossible? If you had to watch
Oh,
the seven, eight, nine movies in a row, which one would it be?
I'd have to say Mission Impossible. Mission
Yeah, same,
Impossible, yeah. Fast and the
same.
Furious was good, but to be honest with you, that it's kind of gotten pretty outrageous. Just like this last one that came out, Fast Nine, the one that came out 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah,
Really? They're gonna fly a Fiero to space and crash it, crash a car. First of all, they attach a rocket to a Fiero. Attach the rocket that's connected to the Fiero to a rocket ship, fly it to space, and then crash it into a satellite and still not damage the car. Like, okay, really? I don't know about that.
well, there is a idea in making movies where, if you're gonna make it, might as well make it impossible.
Then it should be Mission Impossible.
Then it should be Mission Impossible. No, but if you're gonna make a movie, go big or go home.
And how is
Kind
it
of
that
what it.
Vin Diesel never ends up with a scratch on him?
Right. I
Just like
remember there
the.
was there
Sorry,
was
go
a
ahead.
girl that I liked that was really into cars before, and she was, so into Fast and the Furious.
Right, right.
And question something like this came up, Mission Impossible or Fast and the Furious, and I was like, oh yeah, Fast and the Furious, Fast and the Furious. I like Fast and the Furious too. Just I just wanted to get in her pants, right?
Yeah,
So
but I don't get it though. Like again, there's a scene in the last Fast and the Furious episode, season, Fast Nine, whatever, where a truck flips over. For some reason, Vin Diesel's on top of the upside down truck. This upside down truck sliding down a hill, crashing into multiple buildings. Yet he has not one scratch on him and not one drop of blood. I don't know about that. I,
I
I don't-
stopped watching Mission Impossible because of Paul Walker. When he
you mean
was
Fast
gone,
and the Furious?
Fast and the Furious, when he was gone,
Yeah,
I kind of started drifting off. Just the whole idea of it, the whole memory of it, the whole.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's when he went off. Unfortunately, that's when the whole series started kind of dwindling down. It gotten way out of control what they're doing.
Went crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't know who comes up with the storylines. This again, the last one, Fast Nine, it was okay, except for the whole part where the final ending battle scene where again, car goes into space, a truck flips over upside down, slides down the hill, crashes into multiple buildings, yet he ends up with not even a scratch on him or whatever. I I don't know. He's probably superhuman or something, you know?
So Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 means that there's going to be Part 2, yeah?
Yeah. I think this is the final part that he's
Ooh,
doing, And
so
have
excited.
you seen you gotta watch like the behind the scenes of these things because the fight scenes that they do in Mission Impossible, like the last one, Mission Impossible 6, I think. They
Mm,
have Superman playing a character in there, Henry
yeah.
Cavill. So there's
Mm,
this
mm, mm.
fight scene in the bathroom. Did you know that it took almost a week for that fight scene to be shot?
No, I didn't
Because
know that.
they they always kept coming up with better moves and whatnot. And the way they just made that fight look like it looked so real and it looked so painful,
Mm, mm,
you know?
right. Yeah, you said that was 6, right? The one now is 7.
Yes, the one coming out is 7. Yes, I believe it's 7. Yeah,
Okay, so then Part 2 would be 8,
correct.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem to it's taken over. This Mission Impossible has taken over like the new James Bond, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
like
it's
like we need something like that in the world. I think like a James Bond, if James Bond isn't going to it's like Mission Impossible picked up the torch.
In a way, but I wouldn't say completely because Daniel Craig playing James Bond was pretty cool. I mean, I
Yeah, yeah,
believed the last person I believed to be James Bond to me is Sean Connery. Okay. To me, he's James Bond. After him, where we had Mr. Remington Steele himself. I can't even remember his name. But Daniel Craig came about and I actually believed him to be James Bond. He just looked pretty
yeah,
damn James Bondish to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
It took a while. It took 2 seconds for me, but yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Not
then
initially though. It kind of I had to sink my teeth into it. But here's the thing. Here's another question: Mission Impossible or James Bond? If you had to watch like a
I don't
series of,
know.
let's say, 7 movies straight.
See, it depends because only the last four James Bonds were to me were good. The ones with I mean, at least I could sit to those. Um um hold on. Past James Bond actors. So Pierce Brosnan played James Bond before Daniel Craig.
Mm,
Pierce Brosnan he just looked too good looking. He was just too good looking to be playing James Bond. You know what I mean?
yeah.
At least Daniel Craig had that masculine look to him where stop, I'm
Or
gonna kick your
rough.
ass. I can I can
I don't know
actually
about the
kick your ass.
masculine look, but yeah, yeah, yeah. But I see what you mean. Where the other one's a little too clean.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't look like he gets into a fight, or he's
It
never
looks like
been
he'll
in a,
probably fight you to get a pedicure appointment. You
or
know
has
what I
never
mean?
been in a fight before. Like he needs to be like really gentlemanly.
Right, right. But
Like
Daniel Craig he looked like I don't know. He's not like the best looking dude, but I mean, obviously he looks better than both of us. But my point is, he um he has that alpha male look on him. Like he
yeah,
can walk in the room and probably say, "Yeah, I'll kick your ass," and I can kick your ass. But I mean, Pierce Brosnan, if he walks in a room and he'll say, "Yeah, I'll kick your ass," I mean, half the room would probably giggle and laugh. You know what I mean?
yeah, 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 yeah. He doesn't look like he. Yeah, it's yeah, yeah. I agree with you. A little
S-
too clean.
Right, right. So I don't know. But if I'm gonna say James Bond or Mission Impossible, what I'm gonna binge on, maybe the last four James Bond with Daniel Craig I can watch. I can't watch Pierce Brosnan's three James Bond in a row. I can't
Mm,
even
mm,
probably finish one.
mm.
It just I can't picture him running as a James Bond with his hair not even moving. So I'm sorry, I can't do it. You know. Now,
Yeah.
did you know that in every movie that Tom Cruise makes, there's always a scene where he's either running
Mm,
or driving a motorcycle. It's
mm.
it's crazy. Somebody brought that up in a radio show a podcast that I was listening to. I can't remember who or what show that was. So I actually sat down and like tried to see on YouTube every movie that for the last 10 years or 20 years that I went
Yeah,
back on. And it's true. He's either running
yeah.
or
You could
driving a motorcycle
you could search for that on Google, on Google, on
on
YouTube,
YouTube.
and
Yeah.
like Tom Cruise running.
Right.
You know.
Right. Exactly. But
Yeah,
I didn't know that he actually fly. Like, have you seen Top Gun, the second
yeah.
one?
He's a pilot.
I know that. Duh. I'm just saying, I didn't know.
I say it like he's my friend. Like, yeah,
Right.
he's a pilot. He was just here a couple of days ago.
No,
Left
I didn't know.
me.
Like apparently he's like adrenaline junkie. He jumps off planes, flies planes. Even on
Mm,
that Mission Impossible, what was that? The 2 movies ago that for that one where he's hanging
mm,
on the side of the plane.
mm.
That's actually him, and it's insane. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. That was
dude,
the
why
whole
would you
thing.
do that to
That
yourself? You
was the
know?
whole thing about that movie. They were promoting it because of those stunts. If you go even way back, there was also this whole thing about him climbing.
Right. I remember that. I think that was the second one where he's climbing on on the cliff and
Yeah.
hanging like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I was like, holy crap, dude. What if you like fall off that thing? That's it.
It
Career over.
it's funny though, right? So, we're talking about how Tom Cruise is so cool doing this, doing that. And then on the flip side of that, there's Scientology or there's something else going on.
Or with him,
Right.
that whole debacle where he was
It
being interviewed by Oprah and he's jumping up and down the
yeah,
sofa.
I'm
You
I'm
remember that?
remind I yeah, I'm thinking, Michael Jackson, there's dance moves, there's the moonwalk, and then there's Never Neverland. you know? is but,
That's so fun. Who
right.
else? Who else?
Uh yeah, don't know.
I don't know. Those are like the two
They're
really that I
they're
can
they're
think
s-
of.
they're so like high up there in the stratosphere that they can do whatever they want.
Did you ever hear that
And
whole
we'll
debacle where Mel Gibson was like being racist?
I caught
Did
wind of it, but not really. What was
Oh
that
my
about?
God, that was just horrifying. I've never Mel. We all know who Mel Gibson is, but he got caught being racist to his girlfriend or his wife or his girlfriend or whatever, saying the N word here, N word that,
Mm,
and he was like saying like, "Go get your," like threatening his, I think wife or ex-wife at that time. You know,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I caught wind of that. Yeah,
yeah, it's
that was
horrible.
that
He's
was a
such
couple of
a
years ago, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's like, why don't you be a regular woman and just
Right,
suck my
right. So
balls? There.
right, so there's that, and then there's
And there's the movie The Passion of the Christ that he
and th-
directed,
and then before that there's Braveheart.
Braveheart, right?
Right?
And then there's
So
also
it's
the
like,
the on the worst part before that there was the movie that he wrote, directed, I think, The Patriot.
yeah, exactly.
Can you believe that?
But I like that idea. I mean, I'm not actually mentioning this to Raz or to make fun of or put them in a negative. I'm not complaining about it. I
Right.
actually like that about them. That there's something dirty that that they're like. I
They're
like I
normal.
like it. I like it that they're not squeaky clean. I like it that it makes it so sort of attainable that
Yeah, yeah.
I might not have done the dishes, but I could still do the laundry or something to balance it out. It's like I don't have to, like sort of relating it to myself as a man or like an alpha figure to
Right, right.
follow. It's like,
Did
yeah, you know,
Did you ever get into like romantic comedies and all that stuff? Like
that
rom-coms?
before sunrise, before sunset.
Yeah, all right. Well, I actually got into it because the whole 90s thing, that was like a big thing.
Mm,
I got That's pretty much what sucked me into the whole movies thing, why I liked watching movies so much. One of
mm.
like you mentioned Before Sunrise. I actually that I really like that movie. That was so cool. It's so simple. They're just
Mm, mm,
walking
mm.
around the city talking. That's it.
Two people. Yeah.
Yeah, two people, you
Mm.
know. And then there's also like one of my favorite romantic comedies was Notting Hill. Remember that movie
Right.
with Julia Roberts? Jesus, that's so gay.
What do you mean? You make it sound like such an insult when you say, "Oh, that's so gay."
No,
What
I
do you
mean
mean?
it was okay. It was a good movie though. I have to admit, I was such a sucker for those. You know how watching Filipino movies where parang palaging kilig to the bones type of thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know? That's how it was for me with American rom-com movies before though.
Mm,
Like Notting Hill, 10 Things I Hate About You,
mm.
or or there's so many I can't.
There was Christine here wanted to watch. Are you familiar with the other day on Netflix? There was Love and Other Drugs.
Yeah, I saw that too.
You familiar with that one?
Yeah,
She was about she was about to click on it, and I was like, I only like the first part of this movie. The second part, I don't like.
yeah, yeah, right. But
Oof.
it was I don't know. Anyway, I, that's my 2 cents for that one.
So
I think I've
favorite rom com then?
uh well, Notting Hill. Notting Hill was good.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
also, all right. I'm gonna come out like a gay guy here.
What's wrong
Remember
with
that
being gay?
movie? You
That's
remember
the
that
second
movie?
time
She's all that.
you make it sound like such a bad thing to be gay. You know, people are people are getting married now. There are states that are have legalized gay marriages.
Oh man, I think I might
What's
have
up?
said something that got my live got the live suspended until May 27th.
Oh, there. The gay thing probably.
Probably, probably.
What's wrong with
That's,
it?
that's like, I'm
See? I mean,
suspended. It says your okay. What does that say?
I wonder if
Uh,
that's an AI or somebody actually reported you,
I don't know.
reported us.
I don't know. In any case, it's suspended until oh here.
That's a
I forget.
week.
Yeah, the 27th. That's so funny. Um, your live and guest live access will be restored on May 27th. 1 week.
Yeah, that's a 1 week for you to think about your intentions for saying that. That's so gay.
Yeah, it's definitely that.
Did they say what it's for? What? Why?
Well,
Why you were
I mean, they
suspended?
said I'm looking at the community guidelines, and your safety will be. But I don't know, something got it out, but that was interesting. I've never had that in my life before.
You've never been suspended? Oh, this
Me?
is
No.
1 week detention.
Oh, I mean, I've had millions of detentions. Are you kidding me?
But I would go with yeah, Notting
What?
Hill.
Yeah, Notting Hill was really good.
I
And
I I always think that rom-coms should be like comedies in a sense that they should always and you should always feel light and bubbly after the movie.
right. Well, everything with those with that movie of like every scene to me just seemed to work out properly.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah. That was the
Anywho,
not coming out, but that was the first. Is it coming out? What's the right term for it? That's the first movie of Hugh Grant, right?
in America, I think it might have been,
Mm, mm.
but I don't know. I'm not sure to be quite honest with you.
Anything else you
Um,
got on that huge notebook of yours, or before we got cut off, or
no, actually, I'm tapped out. That's pretty much it.
yeah? Where do we
Yeah.
get? How do we get into romantic comedies? Oh, because you brought up Dead Reckoning,
I didn't even bring up Dead Reckoning. No, the
Mission
Mission Impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Um,
I get confused if this is the one with the where he learned how to fly a helicopter.
yeah, that was
That was
two
a different
movies
one.
ago, I think. Or
Yeah.
was it the last one?
Okay, interesting thing about the last movie, and we could probably cap it off with this one. Really, really good trailer on the last movie, the sixth one, I think.
Hmm.
Really, really good trailer. I don't know if you remember, there was a shot or a scene in that movie where they were on a truck, and then the truck
Mhm.
was like careening down this road, about to hit something or whatever. In the final cut of the movie, that scene was not in the movie at all, but it was on the trailer, but not in the movie.
Interesting. I did not know that. Now I'm gonna have to look at that.
Yeah. But
That's on the last one?
you remember the scene that I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So trailer showed a shot or a scene in a movie, but it wasn't on the final cut of the movie for some reason or another. And I didn't look into it anymore, why or how or why they cut it off. But
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm not sure to be quite honest with you. But that's pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to find out.
yeah,
Okay. I think we are done for today.
maybe
Um,
it was impossible mission that they couldn't put the scene in there anymore.
it just didn't
It,
work out for them.
it didn't work out. It really was impossible. It didn't make sense to put it in the movie anymore. And they were like, all right, let's just cut it out. Let's give up.
Yeah,
Let's
screw
release the
this. Too
movie
much.
already. Yeah.
Anywho,
It,
all right, guys. Well, all over the place again today, like always. What else is new? Anywho, thanks for catching up with us. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever.
yada yada
Hit the
yada.
like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be awesome. Watch all the other videos. Yada yada yada. We're getting better into this, and we're working on it. Anywho,
After
again,
the suspension is lifted, we'll get
yes,
better.
we
We'll
will
learn our lesson.
resume our TikTok. We learned our lesson. Um, but I'm
Not to
actually
be offensive to our
correct.
uh
Correct. I apologize about that. That was my fault. Stupidity. Anywho,
it's a no, let's sink our teeth into that just a little bit. I know you're saying goodbye already, but it sucks though, right? I mean, I'm not saying that it's okay, but it's been dug into our language or in our heads or in
it's
our
part of the vernacular already.
like, yeah, that's okay.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? Although
That
I
was my
understand it,
fault. That was my
no, no,
fault.
no. Yeah, 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 and I'm with you on that. It is your fault. Um, no, but just the whole idea of
you froze.
like, yeah, too bad.
All right.
But anyway, we're saying goodbye anymore. But I was just saying that it just sucks. That's probably the battery of the camera.
Hmm.
Sorry. But
Okay.
anyway, you know what I mean? It just sucks that it's just too bad. Okay, I don't want to get flagged for it just sucks. But yeah, it's just too bad that not now it's offensive to say that
Right.
because because it's so nice to say. It feels so it's so nice to say. It's so nice to say when something is gay. Except now I can't say it anymore. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I
ah,
mean, that was my fault. I'm sorry for getting us suspended on TikTok for a week, but I'm gonna peel the crap out of that because I've heard worst. I'm sorry,
mm,
I have on TikTok, so I'm gonna peel it. I'm gonna get it restored. Anyway,
because you can't wait for a week.
yeah, I mean it's the principle of things, man. Yes,
One week.
it sounded bad, and I apologize, but god damn it, man, I've heard worst in TikTok, a lot worse. It's
Like
just
what?
facts.
Like what?
I'm
Say
not
it,
gonna
and
get
then we get.
suspended here too either. Okay, so please don't don't even get me going there.
All right, let's
Anyway,
go before we break something.
yeah, thank you guys for catching us. Hit the like button, subscribe, please. We would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Again, this is the flip side with Jay and Noel. My name is Jay.
My name is Noel.
We'll catch you later.
On the flip side.
He remembered. Uh, Goodbye. I'm,
Goodbye.
don't hang out. I'm gonna stop recording.
Yeah.
stop recording.